Hello, this is Virgil, Labrador, Editor-in-Chief of Satellite Markets and Research, and we're here at the Satellite 2019 in Washington, D.C. with Mark Rigolle. Mark Rigolle has been on this videocast before. He's the CEO of the upcoming LEO constellation, Leosat, and also member of the board of another company, Pacific, which he'll tell us about, give us an update. We've interviewed some Leosat executives before, so as of this moment, I know you just made a big announcement, Mark. Yep. Give us an update of where you're at with your constellation.
Okay. So the priority has been over the past several months to sell, just to prove that the market acceptance is there for our constellation. I think projects like this have to start with demand side. You prove the market is there, and then you make the investments. We do not believe in build it and they will come.
Right.
So tick that box. We've got $2 billion of revenues virtually secured. So that's something we're very, very happy with, and it's also representing all the verticals that we said we were going to be relevant for.
Right.
So that's been validated as well. At the same time, with the help of our two strategic shareholders, JSAT and Hispasat, we've been reviewing the technical design of the satellites, trying to shed some mass to be able to launch more efficiently, and to try and increase the capability per satellite. And if the costs can be decreased, of course, that's nice as well. So we're working on that. Once that work is done, as the preparatory work for the next phase, phase B, on the technical side, we'll be raising, with our strategics, $30 million, small round, to get us to the point that we're able to sign a manufacturing contract.
Oh, right.
That's effectively the three priorities that I've been working on.
So you just need $30 million to get to that.
Get to the next phase. And that's when we sign the manufacturing contract, that's when the big bucks start getting spent, of course.
Right. And do you have a target now, the date for the launch of the constellation?
Yes, so we'll be launching in 2023. That's our current plan. Starting launching in 2023 and 2024, we should have the complete constellation up.
Right. Now let's review, Mark. So you have $2 billion in commitments or virtual contracts. Now you have a small investment, relatively small investment from JSAT and Hispasat, not really all that much for companies of those size.
Yes.
And I think the last time we spoke, you had like 100 million or a little bit more.
Yes. So our idea used to be to raise 100 million to reach the milestones we need to reach. We've now proven that we're able to do that with some risk sharing, with certain suppliers and so on. We're able to do it for a significantly smaller amount of money, which is great news.
Right. Okay, so talk about now, you said those verticals that have been validated. What are those?
It's the main one is enterprise networking. That's what the system was designed for. We're also relevant in the media industry, relevant in the oil and gas industry, the maritime industry. So we've got like 6 segments that we're going after, and we have signed contracts in all 6.
Right. And, well, 2023 is still about 4 years away, and there's some constellations that already have signed manufacturing contracts or in the process. So how does that affect your business plan?
It doesn't really need to influence us at all. Maybe you're thinking that that there'll be contention for scarce resources in production of the satellites. We've been assured by our trusted partner that would not be the case. So we feel secure that we will not be impacted by the decisions made by others.
Right. So, Mark, you're also a board member of Pacific, which is launching a satellite towards the end of the year for the Pacific region, high throughput satellite. How does this, what synergies are there between Leosat and Pacific?
I wouldn't call it synergies, but it's a great illustration of my fundamental belief that a really, really good way to get internet into people's homes in countries where there is no terrestrial infrastructure is through GEO HTS on a cost per connection, cost per bit basis. I think it's very difficult to beat. And plus you have pinpointed spot beams to locations where your customers are, and you're not like non-GSO constellations that are targeting residential broadband. You're not 70% of your time over water and ice and deserts where nobody lives. So I'm a fundamental believer in residential broadband via GEO. On the flip side, I was one of the executives at SCS that promoted and pushed for the investment in O3B to be made more than 10 years ago now.
Right, right.
And I joined O3B afterwards.
Right.
So I fundamentally believe that for business applications, the cost of the ground equipment becomes less relevant. And the fact that you're able to offer a superior service in terms of latency, in our case, Leosat in terms of security and so on,
Right.
gives you a very rich product to sell to your customers at a premium because you're offering something that no satellite or terrestrial communication systems can offer.
Right. But Leosat will also be covering that region, right?
Leosat will, and we will be able to, for instance, help extend the terrestrial coverage by dropping beams in gateways and then allowing telcos on certain islands,
Right.
which are large enough to grow their terrestrial coverage. The market that Pacific is going after is mainly the outer islands, where you can't justify investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in the ground equipment that you need to have a hub there,
Right.
to have a gateway there,
Right.
because there's only a few hundred people on the island, or maybe a few thousand.
Right.
All the islands with more than 10,000 inhabitants, maybe slightly less,
Right.
will be served sooner or later, if
Right.
not already, by terrestrial means. And Pacific is pushing coverage out to the outer islands.
Right, right. All right. Well, I think that's a pretty good overview and status of your constellation. Anything else you want to add, Mark?
No, just great to see the progress, and maybe one thing that's sort of tickling me the past few days, we've consciously, because we're a telco company that happens to have an MPLS network that's in space, so it's going to run over a satellite system, we've started to emphasize presence at total telecom conferences and things like that,
Right.
SD1 conferences, where our customers are,
Right.
and de-emphasizing our presence at satellite conferences, where it's essentially satellite people talking to other satellite
Oh,
people.
right, right.
And so people have asked me over the past few days, it's been quiet around Leosat recently.
But
There's
you've
been
been
no
busy.
news. We've been busy with our customers, which I think should be every company's priority.
Right, right. Well, the investors are here too, right? They're looking at this industry
Yes.
very carefully.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. We look forward to having certain investors that we've already lined up join our two strategics for the Series B financing, which will be towards the end of the year.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Mark.
Thanks, Virgil.
And for all the news and information in the global satellite industry, you always have Satellite Markets and Research at www.satellitemarkets.com.